goes nothing, or something. I'm Jennifer. This is Perisol Knitting, a brand new knitting podcast coming at you all about knitting adventures, and travel. This year I have the absolute privilege to take a sabbatical year and do all of my very favorite things that include knitting, yarny goodness, and travel. I decided to organize a year to enjoy and to experience joy. And what I'm hoping to do with this podcast is to share that with you. We are going to get into finished objects that I've created over the spring, then into some whips that I'm going to probably be taking with me on my travels, and then some brand new yarn to me with knitting plans to bring along. We're actually leaving today, so I'm filming right before we pack up the car, and beside me I have our luggage and our suitcases, and it is just excitement. I can't wait. We're doing a road trip. We will be making a slow journey down east, going to Nova Scotia. We live in Toronto, Canada, and we will be adventuring, taking our time, heading out to beautiful coastal regions of North America. We're gonna get into it. So I am wearing today a knit that I think I've worn once-ish. This is the only spring/summer knit I've ever created. This is my first Ranunculus that I knit of 3. This is such a fun, pleasurable knit, and as I think we start to go through knitting experiences, is that I have such memory linked up to each thing that I've made, or sometimes even in the yarn. I find knitting very meaningful to me and such a wonderful hobby for so many reasons, but memory is highly driven with what I'm making. This Ranunculus by Midori Hirorse. This is knit in 2 strands that I held double. The Sami Amano in a pink, the colorway is called Pink Salt. This was purchased in a time of pandemic when we were getting out of the city because we were both mostly working from home, and we were doing a pandemic stay in Cambridge, Ontario, once a month, once every other month. This was knit during that time. So this is the memory of escape and trying for that normalcy piece. With that, I followed pattern, I'm pretty sure, as much as the pattern goes, with the gorgeous lace. I followed pattern recommendations with the US 10 needle. I'm a very loosey-goosey knitter, so it's got a lot of drape, even though it's held double. The mods that I did, and you can already see, is that I have a folded ending for the sleeve. This is before I got a crochet hook. So this was all done using a knitting needle, and I have the same on the bottom of the body. I enjoy it, and I'm actually surprised I don't wear it more. But there we go. It started with, I believe, a twisted rib, a 1x1 twisted rib. It's got a lot of drape. It sits nicely. It's lovely and light. I should wear it more. This is good. This is a good reflection. Now we're gonna get into finished objects, and just right in front of me, I've got my knitting book, my knitting journal, and it's about the only thing that I do in regards of recording anything on paper, like paper and pen anymore. And I do this to help me remember, because I may not use the pattern again always, but I enjoy recording what I have done, what needle size, what modifications, because I enjoy putting my own spin on things. And then also, like, the whole purpose of knitting as well is to get things to fit you, and part of that creative outlet for us. First finished object. This is a sweater that's inspired by sweater number 12 by my favorite things knitwear. I knit the original sweater number 12, which is a fisherman rib in this really light, bright orange. Super fun. I'll show it another time. But I really loved the raglan stitches that came out of that. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun in just a knit stitch, like a stockinette stitch? So what I did is I took the idea of those raglans, because it's an 11 stitch raglan count, and I did my own thing. So this is a sweater inspired by sweater number 12, by my favorite things Knitwear, but all in stockinette stitch. So what I did is I cast on, I didn't do the neckline at first, I just cast on for the yoke and knit down using this really large raglan quantity of stitches. It creates this lovely triangular shape. I don't know if we can see that, of the shoulder, which I so enjoy. And then it was a lot of ripping back, trying again to get the proper fit. It's a really nice, like sweatshirty type sweater. And on the finishes, I have, or the ends, I should say, the cuffs, just 1 by 1 ribbing. And the neck took me through tries. I did different like styles of ribbing. I did different like heights of necklines. Nothing was working. So ironically, like this guy, I did a folded down neckline. At this point, I had already bought a crochet hook, so this is crocheted down. And I thought it looked the best. It's a really cozy sweater. It's on a US 4. And this, I am saving yarn. This is from my yarn cone. This was my first yarn cone. And this is a US American wool. This is the Harrisville Designs Highland wool. And this color is in kiwi. It's a super fun variation of rustic yarn with yellow, different green. It's just a spring delight. Had super fun knitting this. Started in March, finished quite a bit later because I wasn't following a pattern and kind of like free flowing and just having a great time. It's super fun to wear. My next finished object is another spring inspired piece. This is the Noor Vest by Strikkekaffe. This is 2 yarns held double, 2 strands. One is, I've got up the ball band here. The mohair is the Labien Aimée Mohair, which is a, wait for it, 70% mohair, 30% silk. This is in the colorway grellow. And originally I paired it to go with something totally different, but it felt right with this straw color. The straw color yarn is a really rustic yarn called Rauma Finull, which, as you'll see in a second, is definitely one of my very favorite import yarns. So it's just 1-in-1 strand. The Noor Vest I found was a pretty minds-on knit. Usually knitting in the round, doing a raglan kind of thing is pretty mindless. I can do a lot of other activities while that's going on. This I knit while we were away, again memories, in Prince Edward County. And it happened to be like a really crisp, cool winter, springy day and old-fashioned season. So getting into little sippy sips with the old fashions, this I had to really try to focus, and there was a little bit ripping back as we went because we have I call it a saddle shoulder in the this section when you're first starting the Noor Vest, and then you're increasing. Another big piece of minds on I found for me is short row shaping. The short row shaping that happens to prepare a bigger piece of fabric before you start to get into your sleeve cuff. I guess so the sleeve doesn't go like whack, like out heavy, and has a really nice flow down. Again, it's knit on bigger needles for me. It was a US 6, so pretty drapey. And something else different that I did, but this was in the pattern, is the split hem. Usually I eliminate the split hem and I just knit around, but this I wanted to go with dresses, skirts, and jeans. And it's a really easy wear. I've been wearing it actually a lot. Even though I feel the color is not the best for my complexion, but super enjoy and was fun. My last finished object I'm going to share with you was my spring favorite into summer. This, and I'm just flipping over my journal, is the Sorrel Sweater. This is by Wool & Pine. And this sweater has really interesting construction. I knit this in 2 strands of Rauma Finull in an apricot colorway. The colorways go by number. And this was such a joy to knit up. It was just so much fun. So it's a dip stitch that is done throughout to give you the textured yoke. This is actually knit this way around. So they're calling this, I believe this was I think they classified this as the right side. So you're knitting, you're doing your dip stitches and you're purling, and it's just like gorge. I didn't do, I don't think, nope, the raglan portion here to do the increases. I find often, because I'm such a big loosey-goosey knitter and usually go down a couple needle sizes, I don't need to do further increases after a textured yoke. And you flip it inside out then, once your yoke is done, and I believe you split for sleeves, and then you knit instead of purl the remainder of the sweater. So it's, I guess, less intense for people, although I really enjoy a good purl. Continental knitter, maybe that's why. I had just like a hair of yarn left because originally I had bought the yarn for something totally different, but you know, this is the yarn journey and this is where it takes you. So I did a 3/4 sleeve, not knowing how I felt. This was the first 3/4 sleeve I did, but it's actually really lovely with a white blouse underneath, because this is a nice like tight high neck, which I really enjoy. You've got your crisp little blouse collar here, and then it's the pop of the white sleeve and the cuff that comes out of the apricot wool. It's just like so good, so good. That is the Sorrel Sweater by Wool & Pine. Lovely. Get into the whips. Here we go. There are a few. So this magazine I purchased more recently than not. I feel like this is kind of post-hype of the magazine. I had wanted to purchase this last year, I think it came out, and right away it was gone in Canada. I couldn't get my hands onto it. I was in my very favorite local yarn shop a month and a half ago for something totally different, and they had a whole pile of these. This is redonkulous. The price is Canadian, under $16, and you get like 8 patterns that are really classic to me and fun. You can make like in totally different ways. So my very first cast on with a sweater from this book, and I'm just gonna flip over, was the loose sweater. And this is obviously in this Sanders yarn. I think it's soft for women. With so many popular patterns now. I knit this with 1 strand of another cone, because the cones, like, I'm digging big time. This is another Harrisville design Highland cone. This color is in azure, and I bought the color bought this yarn online when I was in Mexico, and just soaking in all the goodness that vacation has to offer. I was looking out on the ocean and just super enjoying the calmness and the gorgeous blue. Hello, the azure yarn code just had to happen. So this sweater is a really, I would call it simple and mostly mindless raglan, which is totally my jam, especially after a work day. This starts top down. It's a 2x2 ribbing that continues into the raglan detail, which I enjoy. I usually do a little bit of a different sleeve. That doesn't always follow patterns, so I do different decreases when I feel like it, usually at the elbow, and then a few times finished with 2x2 ribbing. I didn't even get into my like dirty little knitting secrets, but we'll get there. And I started, because again, for me, mindless knit, I just went like on the body and went for it. I got to the point where I changed over my needles to do the ribbing at the bottom of the body. And then I was looking on Instagram at night before bed, and I saw that other people's loose sweaters look different and really lovely details on the bottom. And I'm thinking, like, what am I missing? So I went back into the pattern book and I saw, okay, hello. I just went for it. I should have paused and re-looked at the pattern. They designed it with a split hem. Before the split hem, they do already, these are on the sides of the body, a little detailing of 2x2 rib before you split for the hem. What? So I tore back. I started redoing parts of the stockinette body, adding in the little detail that's in the pattern, and I'm gonna split for a split hem, which again, ironically, I just showed you one split hem I did. This will be my second ever split hem, I think, that I've done. But the pattern design on all the people that I saw that did do the split hem, gorgeous. So we're doing that. This is gonna follow me into the car. And just, I think I'm gonna get it done like today for fun. I didn't even mention, sorry, Harrisville design it's like a greasy, almost like maybe waxy type feel when it's in your hands, which I really enjoy. And I find like it creates a really satisfying experience when I'm knitting with it. But because I already have experience with the kiwi, I know that once it's blocked, it is still rustic, not super rustic to me, but it really softens up and creates this really gorgeous fabric. It does bloom a bit for those that are in the blooming know, and it's gonna be lovely. So that's gonna join me in the car ride today. Other whips that I have. So this is also it's a pattern from the Sandnes Garners for Women. This is the Aimée Slipover, and let me show it to you because it's slightly redonkulous, but super fun. So if you have seen the Aimée Slipover, people have knitted from mostly what I've seen in these gorgeous monochromatic, minimal, and neutral colors. So beautiful grays, creams, and they just look stunning. I hope to make one day, but because I was in this like crazy little summer pop of color mode, we went color crazy, and I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. I think it's gonna be super fun with a variety of things. So let's start. The Aimée Slipover, I cast on like 30 less stitches because I did a lot of different stuff. I used a yarn that I would classify somewhat local-ish nationally to me. This is the Briggs & Little Sport. Not really a sport weight. I think it's a fingering weight by the, oh yeah, it's definitely fingering weight by the quantity of yarn that you get. But this yarn, I try to go sometimes like local or more Canadiana yarns as well, especially when I have other like maybe yarn from different memories as well. So, you know, supporting it all. This is the bleach white color, and what I did is I paired this with memorable yarn as well. So the whole idea is that I wanted something that was very sorbet-esque, like you know, ice creamy and just super fun. So I mean, I can wear this any time of the year, but I think definitely spring, summer would be such a fun time to wear it. I paired this with a memorable yarn for me that I purchased in a yarn shop in Vienna, Austria. One of my very, very favorite cities and countries. This is a Finull. It is a Austrian, I believe, processed yarn. I don't know if the wool is Austrian or not, but this is a combo of 60% superwash, 20% silk, 20% polymerate, and it is really just luxurious. It was in the sock section of the wool shop, and again, it was the only Austrian wool that I could find in very few of the yarn shops. This has a very like springy, elastic feel to it when knitting, and I think it could make a fat pair of socks, but the color in this apricot colorway, and the, you know, the colors just have numbers, was going to be fantastic in a garment. So this is paired throughout for the top of the vest. You begin at the back, you get into the front. The second half of this color is a highlighter yellow, which I didn't bring with me, but I have the ball band. It's this guy, the Labien Aimée, and it is literally highlighter yellow. I don't know what it is called, if it even has a name. Nope, also a number that I can share in the show notes. But this is just like, it's highlighter yellow. It's a pop right there. Like, whoa, here we go. The sides, so these are the just fantastic little ties that are going to be super fun to either just knot or bow, and the ribbing at the bottom, which is obviously, it's like this super fun bib-like construction. This is 2 strands held double of the Briggs and Little. My vision, because I still have to cast on for the neck, so hopefully this will get done very soon as well. This will be paired with the pink Finull that I picked up in Austria. Same composition, obviously, in this fun raspberry shade. So it's very sorbet-esque. How fun. That is my Amy slipover. The last whip that I'm willing to show you, because there's more, but these are the ones I'm thinking of taking on my travels. This is a hat, and not just any hat. Let me turn to said hat. Oops. Oh, there we are. This is the Buggy Floral Beanie, and this is the annual Shetland Wool Week hat designed by Alison Rendell, yes. This is knit using Shetland wool. There was a point where I was very inspired to go up to Shetland this year and partake in the Shetland Wool Week. But the more that I started researching, I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think it'll happen in the future. It is a journey to get there and an absolute destination, which I do feel inspired to do, but I definitely think that another year this will happen for me. But I gave it a little flavor. So I purchased the pattern. It's $1, that hopefully gives some support to Shetland Wool Week. And it is a color work hat. This I used knitting up with the Shetland wool. This is Jameson and Smith 2-ply in a variety of colors. And it's a gorgeous rusted wool. Yeah, obviously, if you've worked with it, I'm sure you find it extremely joyful to play with. I'm very bubbly because I'm, again, loosey-goosey knitter. I knit on the smallest needles that I own, which is a US 2, and I think it's still ginormous. So I was really kind of tightly creating those stitches as I went. It's been super fun. There's multiple charts, I think 4, maybe 5 charts. So I'm just at the point now where I'm going to start in the one of the final charts that will start decreasing to create the top of the beanie, and it's super cute. So I think I will bring this with me, but again, because this is color work, it's, for me, it's a mind's own knit, so I have to constantly be referring to the chart, and is not as intuitive for me. So this is coming. We're going to get into the last section now, which is yarn that hasn't begun its journey into a finished or started piece, but I have plans. So let's do that. I have been so lucky to have the people in my life. One of the gorgeous humans, a best friend of mine, she lives in San Francisco. We have these funny things that happen where there's such a strong connection that I'll be thinking of her and she will message, or she'll be thinking of me and I will message. And we don't have heaps of contact right now, and we're, you know, further apart and that kind of thing. But there are definitely some deep-rooted greatness and love that we have for each other. She, and I feel so lucky, she has come up to Toronto, and we had such a lovely couple of visits. She's also a fellow knitter, and we, ironically, as this like connection goes, we started knitting around the same time. It was like a confession that we had over a chat, and I couldn't believe it. It's just one of these magical things. So we went to my very favorite local yarn shop together, and we decided that we had to purchase similar yarn. So we wanted same, matchy. We ended up treating ourselves to to this. This is a Labien Aimée hand-dyed wool. This is the Felix Hella, and I believe it's a super light, maybe lace weight fingering. This is 650 meters, and it's 2 different kinds of wool. This is a merino, 75%, 25% cordell, and it's just a delight. The texture, the color, the yarny goodness. I took it that night that I got home. I took it from the skein. I have a ball winder. No, I don't have a ball winder. I have a Swift, and then I just ball up with my hands because I do not have a ball winder, which is odd, and created these 2 little fun ready to go balls. So this, we decided we wanted to make, obviously matching. We're going to prepare the Baggy Hue, which is a basic beanie by Petite Knit. It's going to be a super chill knit to prepare, and how fun to wear this. It's going to be like poppin'. It's going to be great. So this is a matchy best friend to-be hat, and that is coming with. Moving on, I'm going to do this guy. So this bestie of mine messaged before she left San Francisco, and she knows I'm a rustic yarn fan. She asked if I would like to inherit some of her wool that's a little too rustic for her, and I said, yes, please. She brought up heaps of Plutalopi plates, and this is an absolute dream. I love his tech yarns. I love his Slangic yarn, and this is like all the chic realness that you could ever want. This is a dark gray. I don't have the information because it was from my girlfriend. She gave me 479 grams of this gorgeous unspun yarn. This will become, and this is my knitting plans, goodness knows what's going to happen, from the Lina magazine. There is the Snowy Forest sweater. This is a sweater that has a cabled yoke and knit bottom. It's a pretty famous sweater, gorgeous in style. It's going to be super fun. I have never knit a cable sweater, and I feel like this is just going to be the gateway. It's chunky needles, it's drapey, it looks. So I think I'm going to do 2 strands held double of the Plutolobi, and that will be a more minds on it for the travels, but just jazzed about that one. Pressing on with the Plutolobi. She also, this is my friend, also brought me the light ash, I believe it's called, colorway, and I've been eyeing this even before to think, ooh, should I purchase? And I already had some ideas of what I wanted to make. Again, how can I, so much thank you. So this, I was thinking, I've set 371 grams of this will be a weekend slipover, which again, I've always wanted to make. Super simple make. It looks oversized, and I just think the color is just a neutral delight. Maybe, you know, in contrast to what I'm knitting right now. The last knit that I'm considering bringing is with this. So this is the McLaughlin's Mills wool. This is, I believe, an Aran weight in their Kelly green colorway. And I bought this years ago. I had it delivered. It came in an actual box. The delivery method and purchase method was by phone, not even online. So interesting. This mill is in Prince Edward Island, where we'll be going out east eventually. And I was so excited when I got it, but I wanted to do cables. Cables still intimidate me a smidge. I was so pumped. I knit up, this is right away when I got it years ago. I knit up a little swatch of, I think it's a 3x3 cable, and then the moss stitch here, because it was so long ago and I didn't document at the time. I don't even know what needle size this is. So I will re-swatch again. And the idea is that I think I'm going to do a sweater called the Kara sweater by Knit. It's an all cable work sweater that's knit top down in the round. And I think it's going to be intense, but amazing, challenging. I think I'm going to learn a lot of stuff. This is great. And this, if I get through, even partially through, I'm happy in the fall with the plans of going to where the birth of the cable may have happened. Just saying. That will be potentially the Kara sweater, but definitely a cable work sweater. Okay, I think that is it. I want to thank you for popping in, for watching, and yeah, I'm hoping to continue documenting the knitting journey this year as I travel. I'm literally going to pick up all the pieces that I just showed you that are either whips or the yarn and throw them in a bag to hustle out of here so we can get on the road and hopefully beat some traffic. So again, thanks for joining. I am found on Instagram as Paraswell with Knitting, so hope to find you there and follow along with all the great knitting journey. So appreciated. I hope you can find some joy in your knitting today, and until next time, thank you so much.